Automotive Portlandia, how do you make a car more awesome? Put an R on it.
Great, so the R is the ultimate expression of Caymandom. But what separates the R-badged car from the more pedestrian Cayman S?
You'll know you're looking at a Cayman R when you see a front lip spoiler, almost certainly scraped to hell on the underside, black headlamps, contrasting side mirrors and side intakes, side stripes, black center exhaust outlets, and a fixed rear wing. If you manage to peek inside before the owner comes out to shoo you away, look for red seat belts, red door pulls, and interior trim that matches the exterior. Mechanically, the Cayman R trumps the Cayman S with a limited slip differential and a sportier suspension featuring a 0.78-inch drop. It's also lighter thanks to aluminum door skins, lighter weight sport bucket seats, lightweight 19-inch wheels, and revised interior door panels with the previously mentioned door pulls. There's also no air conditioning, audio system, or cup holders, but ask Porsche nicely and they'll add them back for you at no charge.
With all the omissions and reductions, the Cayman R tips the scales at 2,855 pounds, which is 121 pounds lighter than a Cayman S. Of course, when you start adding equipment back in, those weight savings disappear. And I'm guessing unless you're a really devoted track day enthusiast, you'll probably want air conditioning, radio, and yes, sadly, cup holders. Also, I hate to say it, but these door handle replacements, pretty gimmicky. They only save 2 pounds between the both of them, which is about as much weight as you'd save if you ditched the floor mats and maybe some trim underneath the front trunk. But then, not having floor mats doesn't look nearly as uncompromisingly racy as a floppy little door handle.
As for the mid-mounted 3.4-liter flat 6, horsepower in the Cayman R has been cranked up by a mind-blowing 10, for a wicked total of 330. Take that, Cayman S, with your lowly 320 horsepower. Aha! Redline has also been raised by 200 RPM, although torque stays the same at 273 pound-feet. Extra power and a reduced curb weight help lower 0 to 60 times by 0.2 seconds across the board versus the Cayman S. More specifically, 60 comes in 4.7 seconds with the 6-speed manual, 4.6 seconds with the 7-speed PDK automatic, and a brief 4.4 seconds in cars equipped with the PDK and the Sport Chrono package that also adds launch control. Other essential performance specs?
With a base price around $67,000, the Cayman R costs $4,200 more than its Cayman S equivalent, which means, do the math, it's about $1,400 per tenth of a second to 60. So if you think you're buying acceleration, the Cayman R is not a great investment.
While we're spoiling the fun, here are some interesting facts. The seemingly more exotic but sadly heavier Lotus Evora actually costs slightly less than a Cayman R. The Audi TT RS offers 360 horsepower for nearly $10,000 less than the Cayman R, though it is around 400 pounds heavier. Even the Hyundai Genesis Coupe can be had with more power than the Cayman R.
Pure horsepower may not be its thing, but that's fine. The R's greatest strengths don't show up on a dyno sheet. When you drive the Cayman R, its intangible charms start to seep out. The brakes feel strong and have excellent feel, which is very confidence-inspiring. Then the engine pulls heartily and it revs freely, making it easy to do heel-toe downshifts. Plus, it sounds great doing it. And then there's the steering. It's communicative and precise without being too heavy or too light. It makes the Cayman R one of the most engaging cars you can buy, which isn't surprising because underneath all the R tweaks, it's still a Cayman. Despite the whole uncompromising performance aesthetic, the R isn't punishing during normal driving. Yeah, it's firm, but it's totally tolerable.
With all that nice stuff out of the way, let's get back to the buzzkill subject, price. Like all Porsches, options make the price tag swell like Oprah at Thanksgiving. With all those options, you're looking at nearly $80,000 worth of Cayman R. Add a few grand, and you could have bought a new 911 Carrera. But realistically, Cayman buyers aren't looking for ultimate value. If they were, they'd probably buy a Nissan Versa instead. What they want is a car that stirs the soul and excites the senses. Going one step further, the Cayman R would make a lovely dedicated track car, but some people just want the ultimate Cayman, which goes back to a point I've made before.
Sometimes the numbers don't tell you the whole story. How much, how light, How fast? I mean, they're fine to know and fine to discuss, but nothing replaces charging up a winding mountain road with the flat six singing and the steering wheel alive in your hand. It might not hold up to a hard cost-benefit analysis, but from this seat, the Porsche Cayman R certainly seems worth the cost.